Hello there, welcome to another edition of the editorials we're broadcasting from Canada. My name is Sandra Asante. Today we'll be looking at the 350,000 people that are affected by the famine conditions in Ethiopia's Tigray region. I'll take a quick commercial break. I'll be back. You're welcome back from the break. Thank you so much for always staying with me. So some 350,000 people in Ethiopia's embattled Tigray region are facing catastrophic food shortages, according to an analysis by the United Nations agency and aid groups. There is a famine now in Tigray, UN Aid Chief Mark Lukok said after the report released on Thursday. The number of people in famine conditions is higher than anywhere in the whole world. At the moment, since 250,000 Somalis lost their lives in 2011. Lukok said 2 million more people were just a step away from those extreme conditions and lamented the fact that some of the key UN agencies seeking to tackle the crisis have essentially no money. The warning came as the United States and the European Union issued an impassioned plea for greater international efforts to tackle the crisis in a region where more than 90% of the population need emergency food aid. Famine have or may be already been happening in certain areas, threatening the lives of hundreds of thousands. It's unconscionable, Linda Thomas-Greenfield, the U.S. ambassador, told a round-table event decrying the failure of the UN Secretary Council to hold a public meeting to end the crisis. The Security Council, however, will discuss the conflict on Tuesday, diplomats said. But the session will be held on an informal basis because of Ethiopian opposition to the council taking up the matter, a view shared to varying degrees by several members, including Russia, China, Vietnam, India, and African countries. Thomas Greenfield said the stakes were higher as the UN urgently appealed for more than $200 million to scale up its response. We are witnessing a humanitarian nightmare, Thomas Greenfield added. We cannot let Ethiopia starve. We have to act now to resolve what she called a man-made emergency. The U.S. has announced $181 million of additional funding to deliver self-saving and life-saving food, agricultural supplies, safe drinking water, shelter, healthcare, and essential services to those in need in Tigray. But international aid organizations have complained repeatedly that they are being denied access to the region by Ethiopian forces and troops from neighboring Eritrea. To avoid humanitarian catastrophe, the entire international community must act directly and indirectly, quickly and robustly, AU Crisis Management Commissioner Janice Larek said. Fighting in Tigray broke out in November 2020 between government troops and the regional former governing party, the Tigray People's Liberation Front, the TPLF. The violence has killed thousands of civilians and forced some 2 million from their homes in the mountainous region. The Integrated Food Security Phase Classification, the IPC analysis, concluded that more than 350,000 people were in catastrophe, the IPC Phase 5, the most extreme warning between May and June 2021. This severe crisis results from the cascading effort of conflict, including population displacement, movement restrictions, limited humanitarian access, loss of harvest and livelihood assets, and dysfunctional or non-existent markets, it said. If the conflict deepens or humanitarian access is hampered, most areas of Tigray will be at risk of famine, the analysis warned. Even if aid deliveries are stepped up, the situation is expected to worsen through September. After the report's release, Taye Selassie Amde, Ethiopia's ambassador to the UN, told Al Jazeera the government rejected the IPC analysis, accusing it of not being transparent, describing its methodology as inefficient and insufficient, and saying that technical group members that are presumed to be part of this survey, but they were not able to participate. We heard it clear and loud this morning what Ambassador Thomas Greenfield said. We are not party to the meeting, but in general, what we heard, some are trying to play the role of God, he said. We need support based on dignity and respect. Earlier, Mituku Kasa, head of the Ethiopian National Disaster Prevention and Preparedness Committee, had said a declaration of famine would be incorrect. He accused the TPLF of attacking aid convoys. We don't have any food shortage, he said in a news conference, adding more than 70% of people have been provided with aid by 5 operators. The TPLF remnant forces attacked the personnel. They attacked the trucks with food, said Kasa. William Davison of the International Crisis Group said there is no real surprise about the deterioration of the humanitarian situation. Because of the ongoing conflict, large number of farmers have missed the planting season, and it has raised concerns even more, he told Al Jazeera. They said the main phase of the operation was in the early November, and they said that they are in the phase of reconstructing Tigray rather than fighting an ongoing conflict, let alone battling to prevent famine. So there is no surprise they are disputing their figures. This is where I end the editorials for today. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Sandra. Asante, see you some other time.